The fields lie uneasy under the summer sun of 2025. China, a great buyer of American farm goods, has turned its face away. For years, farmers planted with China in mind. They sowed seeds expecting a market. Now that expectation is broken. The orders are shrinking. Some have vanished altogether. Soybean orders, once robust, have dwindled to almost nothing. Pork shipments face sudden cancellations. These are not mere statistics. They are empty spaces in shipping containers. They are worried conversations at the kitchen table. Peter Friedman, from the Agriculture Transportation Coalition, calls it a full-blown crisis. The crisis touches every corner of the farm economy. It questions the wisdom of relying so heavily on faraway markets. This retreat by China is tangled with global politics and trade disputes, but the farmer on the tractor feels it most directly. The price of their crop falls. The cost of their inputs rises. The delicate balance of a farm's economy is thrown into disarray. The land still gives its gifts. The farmer still works with skill and dedication. Yet, the reward for this work is now uncertain. The thread that connected American fields to Chinese tables has begun to unravel. The silence is heavy. It speaks of difficult days ahead. Trade wars are fought with numbers. Tariffs are these numbers. The US government placed high tariffs on goods from China. China, in response, placed tariffs on American goods. Farmers, who grow food from the earth, found themselves caught between these walls. Their crops, meant to feed people, became weapons in a battle they did not choose. The land does not understand tariffs. It only understands good stewardship and the need for its bounty to find a home. These tariffs are not abstract. They make American farm products more expensive in China. Chinese buyers then look elsewhere. Zhao Chenxin, a Chinese official, said China can easily find other sources for grain. This is a hard truth for American farmers to hear. They have worked to build relationships. They have prided themselves on quality. Now, a government decision, made far from their fields, has undone much of that work. The tariffs act as a dam, holding back the flow of goods that once moved freely across the oceans. The impact is felt deeply in the heartland. The farmer who plants soybeans or raises hogs does so with an expectation of sale. When that sale is blocked by a tariff, the farmer suffers. The price they receive for their crop can fall below the cost of growing it. This is an unsustainable path. It leads to debt. It leads to despair. The tariff war is not just an economic policy. It is a burden placed on the shoulders of those who work the land. The walls of tariffs cast long, dark shadows over the American countryside. The economic numbers paint a grim picture. Behind these numbers are human stories. Farmers are forced to make hard choices. Some must lay off workers, people who are often neighbors and friends. Others face the heartbreaking decision to shut down their businesses entirely. These are not just businesses, they are legacies. They are ways of life. A hay exporter in central Washington had to let go of 12 employees. That is 1/4 of his workforce. These are not just jobs lost. They are skills unused, families worried, and futures uncertain. The silence in a once busy barn is a heavy sound. Consider the wood pulp and paperboard exporter. They saw immediate cancellations. Thousands of metric tons of their products suddenly had no buyer. Imagine the phone calls, the emails bearing bad news. Imagine the careful planning, the investment now rendered useless. A grass seed exporter received only 2 weeks' notice. 8 loads ready to ship were canceled by Chinese customers. This is the reality of the crisis. It is sudden, it is brutal, it leaves little room to adapt. The fields may still be productive, but if the harvest cannot be sold, the productivity means little more than added debt and deeper frustration. The emotional toll of watching that work unravel is immense. It is a weight that settles heavily on the heart and mind. The crisis does not stop at the farm gate. It travels along the supply chain. It reaches the ports. It affects the exporters. It touches everyone involved in moving food from American fields to global tables. Christy McKenney from the Port of Oakland warns of this. She says these tariff-induced downturns could jeopardize job stability. China is a major trading partner for Oakland. It accounts for nearly 1/3 of the port's total trade volume. When agricultural exports to China fall, the port feels it. Fewer ships mean less work for longshoremen. Fewer goods mean less work for truckers and warehouse staff. Exporters of all kinds are feeling the strain. Agricultural exporters report a stark reality. No other markets can quickly replace China's demand. China is a vast market. Its appetite for American farm products has been enormous. Finding new buyers of that scale takes time, negotiation, and luck. Time is something many struggling businesses do not have. The interconnectedness of the global economy means that a slowdown in one area creates ripples everywhere. The cracks are widening, revealing the fragility of these long supply lines. The hope for a quick resolution for a return to normalcy is fading for many. Section 5. A leap of faith into uncertainty. The farmer's burden and spirit. The farmer's life has always involved a measure of faith. Faith in the soil to nurture the seed. Faith in the rain to fall, but not too much. Faith in the sun to ripen the crop. But now, as Missouri farmer Wes Shumier describes, planting itself has become a leap of faith of a different kind. It is a gamble not just against nature but against unpredictable global markets and seemingly indifferent governments. This new uncertainty adds a heavy layer to the already demanding work of farming. It gnaws at the spirit, making the future feel like a fog-covered field, where the path ahead is unclear and fraught with hidden obstacles. This crisis is more than financial, it is psychological. Farmers are stewards of the land. They take pride in their work, in producing food that feeds the nation and the world. When markets collapse, when their products are devalued by distant political maneuvers, it can feel like a personal affront. It can lead to stress, anxiety, and a sense of helplessness. The hope that sustained generations of farmers, the hope of a fair return for honest labor, is being severely tested. The quiet dignity of agricultural work is threatened when its value is so easily dismissed by forces beyond the farmer's control. The decisions made in Washington or Beijing have profound consequences in places like rural Missouri, central Washington, or the plains of Iowa. These are not just abstract economic shifts, they are events that alter lives and landscapes. The farmer who once planned rotations and investments with confidence now hesitates. Yet, the farmer's spirit, though tested, is resilient. Farmers continue to plant, to tend, to hope. Section 6. The ripples spread. Beyond the farm gate, into the community. The troubles of the American farmer do not stay confined to the farm. Like water spreading from a stone dropped in a pond, the ripples move outward. They touch many lives, they affect entire communities. Longshoremen at the ports, who load and unload the ships, see their work hours dwindle when agricultural exports decline. Truck drivers who haul crops from the farm to the grain elevator or from the elevator to the port find themselves with fewer loads. Their livelihoods are directly tied to the farmer's prosperity. When the farmer struggles, these essential workers struggle too. The crisis reaches into the towns and small cities that dot the agricultural landscape. Local businesses, the feed store, the equipment dealer, the Main Street diner, all feel the pinch. Farmers with less income have less to spend. This reduction in spending circulates through the local economy. It means fewer sales for local merchants. It can mean job cuts in these businesses as well. The fabric of rural communities is woven with threads of agriculture. When those threads weaken, the entire fabric can begin to fray. The health of the farm is inseparable from the health of the town. Even consumers, seemingly distant from the farm, may notice temporary effects. An excess supply of certain products like cherries might lead to temporarily cheaper prices in the grocery store. While this might seem like a benefit, it is often a sign of distress for the farmer. The true cost of food includes the well-being of those who grow it. Section 7. Navigating New Hurdles, the SHIPS Act. Complication for growers. The SHIPS Act imposes significant port fees on Chinese-made vessels, impacting containerized agriculture. This includes high-value products like refrigerated beef, pork, poultry, and fresh produce. Excluding these from fee exemptions seems short-sighted, adding obstacles for farmers. Efforts are underway to persuade policymakers to exempt all agriculture exports from these fees. Section 8. A deafening silence. Political inaction and its consequences on the ground. In times of crisis, people look for leadership. They look for solutions. For many American farmers, Washington's response has felt like a deafening silence. The U.S. Trade Representative's office has been unresponsive to concerns about the SHIPS Act fees. This lack of communication deepens the sense of frustration and abandonment felt in farming communities. Farmers are not asking for miracles. They are asking for their government to listen, to understand, and to act in their best interest. Section 9. Mending the land, mending livelihoods, a path forward for American agriculture. The current crisis in American agriculture demands more than temporary fixes. It calls for a thoughtful reevaluation of our approach to trade, farm policy, and the food system. Immediate government intervention and support are crucial. Swift resolutions to trade disputes and financial assistance are needed. Diversifying export markets and fair trade agreements are essential. Strengthening local food systems and sustainable practices will ensure long-term resilience. Mending livelihoods means mending our relationship with the land. Farmers are stewards of a vital resource, essential to our nation's food security. Washington must act decisively to foster prosperity and stability. The future of American agriculture depends on it.